everyone and welcome to another video. Today we are going to talk about a much recent topic, which is what stock to buy in this current dip, and should we buy the IT and steel stocks, which are now at a very discounted price, as people think, and there's a notion in the market that these have been given at a very discounted at a very cheap price, and it is the right time to enter these kind of stocks. So I won't make a recommendation on that, but I want you to know what were the reason of such kind of downfalls in both the IT and steel industry. So first, talking about the tech stocks, why were these falling? Before that, we need to see as how much they have given as a downfall. So there's Wipro at minus 41%, there's Infosys minus 23, Tesla at minus 41, Microsoft has minus 23, Meta is minus 54, Alphabet is minus 23, and Netflix has a minus 70%. So what was the reason of this, such kind of downfall? People consider it to be the overvaluation of such stocks. What is overvaluation? We have seen that after the COVID hit us, after that the IT stocks have given a massive run up. The reason behind that is people thought of them being a booming stock in a situation of a pandemic where no one can step out and everything has to be done on computers, and everything has to be related to ITs, and they have to be applied to each and every business, and which will eventually give them a rise in their business levels. So after that, we saw them to give a run up, and they were at a all time high, and then people thought that now the notion was that these stocks are now over their value. They have reached their valuation, and now at overvalued prices. And whenever there's an overvaluation in any kind of stock, the market always corrects itself and bring them to sensible levels. And people have this argument that this is what has happened in the current scenario as well, and this is the reason of such a downfall in such kind of markets. The another reason which people have been saying is this is an article from the week which says that there's a high attrition rate in the IT industry, not only in India but overall, and there's on an international level there's a massive attrition in these kind of companies. Now we need to understand how attrition impacts the business. Let's take an example of making our own business, where there's an employee who has been working for years for your business, and now he's hopping onto some other job and leaving your organization. What happens then is you want some other person to take his place, and what happens in this case is then you have to train him as well as to how your business works, and this will take some time. And the time you spend on this training is the time you have a loss on the manpower hours. As the man hours dip, of course it is a cost for a company, but also there's no productivity attached to it. So if there's a new employee, there's a high attrition cost as well attached to the new person coming into the business. So what the companies have been doing is to retain such kind of employees. They have been giving some incentive perks, bonuses, and sometimes salary hikes as well, like a 100% salary hike in Amazon, to retain such employees, so as to they don't have to adhere to some attrition cost, because they think of them being very expensive and a very loss situation for a business. Another reason for the downfall in this tech stock is considered to be the interest rates which have been rising, which have been which we have heard from the last some weeks, that the Feds have increased the interest rate. The RBI is also increasing the interest rate, and and because of these interest rate, people or some analysts in the industry, what they do is they run some calculations on a model known as discounted cash flow. So discounted cash flow is nothing but it brings the future value of a stock to the current value, and for bringing that to the current value, it uses the interest rates as well if it is a debt adhered company itself. So what happens is, as the interest rate rise, the stock valuation goes low, because they think that as the interest rate rise, it's an expense for a business, and eventually it is going to cause a negative impact on the business. So because of this interest rate rises, this stock valuation came to a lower price, and people thought of them being an overvalued stock at that stage, and the demand for such stock went low. Because of that demand going low, these prices of these stocks also went plunged to a current level. This is also another argument which there is. So now, as we have talked about the IT industry, now we hop on to the next industry we're going to talk about quickly in this video, which is the steel industry, and what is the reason for the downfall in the steel stocks in the market. So first, we'll take some examples. Tata Steel at a minus 26%, NMDC at a minus 22%, JSW at a minus 16%. So what is the reason behind this? The reason behind this is said to be the fall in export would drag down the steel stock prices. Why is there a fall in export is a question to ask. The reason behind that is very simple. The reason behind that is as the government has imposed the export duty, which has increased the export duty on iron ore and steel products. The demand for such stocks in the international such products will in the international market will go low because of them being expensive now for them to import such kind of goods, because the export duty have rise from 30% level to 50% level on iron ore, and from a 0% level to 15% level on steel products, which will make these companies shift their demand from the Indian markets to some other markets from where they can fulfill their requirements for these kind of products. What will happen in this situation is, let's talk about it in a brief. Let's make a graph of a demand and supply curve. Let's consider a situation where the prices were at an equilibrium of this level. And what now has happened is, because of the shift in the demand curve, as now the demand for these kind of stocks are going, these kind of products are going to low, the prices for these products in the domestic market are going to also go low. And now it will be priced as a lower price. And because of this lower price, the government's intention behind this imposition of the export duty is, as they think that the price will go low, the inflation can also be taken into control. As there is a very inflationary situation in the country as of now, this is the step which the government has taken so as to bring the inflation to optimum levels and to take care of the inflation as per now. So this was it, and this is what is the reason behind the downfall for such stocks. And now I leave it to you as to how you have to make your decision on any of these stocks. As do you consider them to be fairly valued or undervalued as of now, and do you want to invest in it because you now know the macroeconomic reasons of such kind of downfall in the industry, and that is what is to be done beforehand to see how the macroeconomic view of these industry and businesses are. So thank you for watching this video. I hope you got to learn something out of it.